Okay, so we have got a wall with holes in it, and now we need shelves. There's a couple of different ways to do this. I'm going to show you one particular way. I'm going to do it quite quickly, so I'm going to go here to New, Family, and I'm going to start just a regular old generic model. Right there, click Open. Now I'm going to come in and put in some reference planes. So RP is the shortcut for reference plane. Put a couple in on either side, both vertical and horizontal. Okay. Then I'm going to come into my annotate and I'm going to equal those out. So I picked a line dimension and 1, 2, 3 equal. Put an overall dimension on that guy. 1, 2, 3 equal. Put an overall dimension on that guy. And I'm going to name this one, add a parameter, name it width, and I'm going to make it an instance parameter. I'm going to pick this one and I'm going to name it D for depth and make that an instance parameter. Then I'm going to go into my front elevation. I'm going to add another reference plane above the reference level. I'm going to go to annotate and make a line dimension from the level to that one that I just made. Pick that dimension, go to add parameter and height, and make that an instance parameter, or actually let's just make that a type parameter. We'll leave that as a type. It's most likely that's not going to change. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to go ahead and set my height to 0.75 inches. And let's set the depth to 1 foot for the default and the width to 3 foot for the default, and I'll click OK. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to come in and just create a box there. So if I go to my reference level, I'm going to come in, go to Create, Extrusion, go to Rectangle, pick the 2 corners that I just made and lock to that. Hit the big green check, go to my front elevation, pick that shape handle and bring it down and lock it to that. So now I have a very exciting, if I go to my 3D view, I have a very exciting little, so if I change that to 2 and that to 4 and hit apply, it gets bigger, right? But I'm just going to leave it at 1 and 3 and hit apply and click OK. The last thing I want to do is put a material parameter on there. So I select the object, go to materials, click on that parameter, hit add parameter, and we'll name this shelf mat. Okay, and we'll leave that as a type. Click OK, click OK. File, save as, family. I'm going to save this to my desktop. You should save it. I'll name this shelf. You see I have one already named shelf single instance, and we'll just save over that. And save. Oops. Save it as a different name because I think I have it open. Save as family. Shelf single instance, and we'll name that. We'll just instance. Okay, click save, it saves that. Now the last thing I want to do, and I'm going to have to resave it, is I want to make sure that it's categorized as casework. You see how it said generic model? You can categorize it as casework and save it again. I'm going to load it into the project, my project 1 that I had open, and you'll see it comes in, right, and it's hosting to level 1, but that's okay, don't worry. You can either like click it back in, you can kind of put it anywhere, but you could come and it's centered, so I'm just going to sort of click, we'll click right there, and it's going to place that thing on the floor, right? And so basically what I've got right now is this thing on the floor that's below the opening. So if I go to my south elevation, you can see it's on the floor, but I can pick this because it's a family, and I can just move it. I'm just going to move it up, right? And then you see these little shape handles. You can drag those in and you can lock that one, and you can lock that one, and it will still let you move it up, right? So if you want to move it up, 1 foot, right? You can then copy this guy, 1'6", right? And then 1'6", however you want to copy it up. And because I locked that bottom one, we should be able to tab select to that original model line and see how that one moves. You can take this one and lock it, and it will now move with the size of that opening. Okay, so now if I tab select and move that in, right, all those shelves move in with it. And you can adjust where these shelves are. You can see that it's setting the offset over here, so you can also control offset by doing like 3 foot and it'll move it down. So it's up to you how you want to control it. Another way that you can control these is if I delete these and I pick that one, I'm just going to unlock it right now, or we can lock it. You can also array it, so if I pick that and I go to array from there to there, and I put in 3, it will put in 3 shelves between those two. Now there will be some issues in that it won't really want to do the locking because of the way the array works. You could try, let's try going in and edit group, and then if I move that, right, it'll yell. It just doesn't want to do it with the array. So if you don't need to change the size, the width of it, you can do the array and have control over, however many shelves you have in there. Okay, if you want to be able to control the width of it, because it's not going to care with the array, the height. It'll keep, adjusting for that. But if you want to do the width, the array won't work. If you want to change the width and have it listen, you'll have to do it as single copies. Okay, now if you pick this shelf, it's in a group once it's an array, but if you go to edit group, you can pick that, and if you go to edit type, it'll give you access to the material. Okay, if it's not in a group, so if I just ungroup that, which breaks the array, you can pick that and go to edit type and you get to the material. Now you'll notice that here you can access the depth and the width individually for each shelf. Okay, all right, that's it.